Microphone check 1 2. What is this? It is the 6 Feet of Frustration podcast.
Wow.
I got the mask this week. Got the right one. It's supposed to match my lips. It's not working. Anyways, we have a special guest this week. It is Ethan.
Yeah, I'm back, everyone. I'm sorry.
Yay.
Yeah, after a long lapse. And of course, my two compatriots, Chase and Tristan. And Chase is a protester. Part of the revolution.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doing
I'm in the
God's
middle of
work, my
vacation
friend.
right now.
He's part of the news. Oh god.
I just look out the window when I go in a taxi. That's it.
Yeah. And then crash the taxi. Okay. All right. So the news this week, Chase, you start off with the news. You have a news thing.
Oh, I got news. Yeah. It was announced today by Square Enix. They put out a video that Hawkeye has been announced as a playable character in the new Avengers game they're making.
So now everyone can play their least favorite Avenger.
Wow.
Bows and arrows are cool. Okay.
Oh, you know who else can use bow and arrow? Literally every other Avenger.
Well, I'd love to see Hulk do that.
Let's be honest, no one can quite match Hawkeye's ass on an Avengers poster, though.
True. Maybe Black Widow, but that is yet to be seen.
A close second, maybe.
Actually, no, wait. Captain America.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Well, that's what Chase is into.
Yeah, Chase is into. That is America's ass.
I can nor confirm nor deny America's ass.
America's ass, everybody. America's ass. All right. I guess in other news, there've been a lot of deaths. Some more deaths. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
That's always in the news, though. So that's
more just deaths or celebrity deaths.
Celebrity deaths. A lot of. I think.
Did we already talk about Bilbo's actor dying?
We talked.
Yeah. Ian Holm. This week was Burgess. What was it? Merriweather?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Oh, Regis Kelly. Yeah, Regis Kelly. Fuck. Regis. I said Regis and Kelly. This is Regis from. Yeah.
Yeah, Regis Philman.
Wait, Burgess Merriweather. Why am I talking about him?
That's not what I was thinking.
I have no idea.
That's the guy who played Penguin in 1966 Batman.
Of course it is, because everyone knows that. You big dummy.
I don't know why it popped in my head. Continue.
You got
because
you got Adam West on the brain. And Cuphead is coming to PlayStation 4 for anyone
with a great trailer.
Weird trailer.
Your editor is going to be suffering. That's all I have to say.
It'll be easy.
No, we're not going to play it on PS4. We're no PSers.
We're not that far gone yet.
PSers.
Bunch of PSers, those guys. Or the boxers.
The boxers.
Boxers. All right, now Tristan's question.
Oh boy, I guess this is a kind of a different kind of question, but then it's a weird one. So,
a weird one.
If someone you know, friend, family, whatever, turns into an object, let's say like a toilet, and you have to use said object to bring them back, would you do it?
So you have to use them in the way that they're supposed to be used, or
so if they're turned into a spoon, you gotta eat cereal or something with it. Yeah, or if they're a toilet, you gotta use the toilet.
What if they're
scrub brush? Yeah.
I know you're saying inanimate objects, but what about what if they're a food? They get turned into a cake. You have to eat the cake.
Disposable objects. That's.
It depends if it's a transfer of consciousness or if that's their physical body transforming. If it would be food, it'd have to be a transfer of consciousness for them to make it back out, I think.
Well, so okay, so in the spoon and the toilet situation, are they can they talk or communicate, or is it just okay?
Nope, they're just that object.
But do they have memories of when they are the object?
Yeah. They will maintain memory. That's their only function.
I don't think I'd be able to do the toilet one.
No? Your friend would just be a toilet forever? or whatever.
I do it. I just make sure I have a bottle of alcohol for them.
Yeah, that's fair
It can be a
compliment.
traumatic experience for me, but for them.
Yeah, do it.
Of course, Chase would do it. You do it right now.
You do it right
Doesn't
now.
even.
Is someone in the toilet?
Yeah, just sit on the toilet. Yeah. Break an arm. $5,000.
All right.
Like that.
Yeah.
All right, that's a whole nother
Alright.
question.
That is, yeah, that is a whole other question.
$10,000 or whatever, right?
$10,000. Yeah, it was
Would you,
$10,000.
if you want me to pitch the question?
Yeah,
Sure.
pitch the
That's what I
question.
brought up.
All right, would you break your friend's arm for $10,000?
That depends.
I don't think
Are
they'd be
they
my
an
friends
American
after.
citizen and have health insurance? Because American health insurance is fucking shit.
Yeah. I'm a bear and I know that.
True.
Well, it's a friend of yours. How many friends do you have
See,
outside
the
the
thing
U.S.?
is, like, okay, when we originally pitched this question, Chase was like, I'd take the 5 and then give the 5 to them, and I'd ask them beforehand, and I just break their arm. But I feel like in this day and age of medicine, it costs more than $5,000 to fix a broken arm.
At least here, it does, for sure.
Yeah, depending on who you go to.
Very
That's
pricey.
true. Just cast it, you know.
Well, I mean,
We'll make it, maybe make it more like 70-30.
You can ask your brother how much his foot cast costs and all that.
It's true.
He's in a permanent boot.
Yeah, my brother broke his tibia bone.
Which is weird they call it a permanent boot because he's only going to be in it for like 3 months.
It's permanent, forever.
It's permanent. For
Die
3
with
months. 3 months is a long time.
Uh-huh.
By the way, I just chose this outfit because it's fucking hot.
Fair enough.
It's a great mask.
I've worn a suit jacket and a t-shirt like the past 2 weeks, and I can see my sweat in the video. I can see it slowly perspiring. So I'm just like,
And you just pointed that out to the audience.
Yeah.
I can
Now I have to
assure
keep
you,
an eye on that.
Arizona is not much better.
Yeah.
But I am lucky to be in an air-conditioned house right now. So.
Well, it's about a good,
It's like,
you know,
it's 80.
71 degrees here in Gotham. So
What is Gotham? Is Gotham supposed to be Chicago or New York? Or like
New York, just south of New York.
So what does that make Metropolis then?
I don't recall. I don't know where Metropolis
Well,
is.
I
I know
feel like-
Bloodhaven is more south of Gotham.
I feel
We're,
like
we're
Gotham,
ignoring Zack Snyder's version of. We're ignoring Zack Snyder's Jesus for this question.
I feel like Gotham would be like Brooklyn, and then Metropolis would be Manhattan.
Would they be that close?
See, I don't.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
I don't
Metropolis
know.
is depicted sometimes as an island.
Sometimes.
Yeah, that's
So-
true.
I'm a bear. I don't know, man. I don't know what the thing is. Just gonna cut that out.
Connor,
yeah.
is your outfit based on something, or did you just come up with that?
Well, I wasn't gonna be shirtless originally, but I just felt like that would kind of work. I'm supposed to be a
It does work, yeah.
werebear. I got bare hands.
Werebear. You got bare hands?
Bare hands. I know Bear Grylls.
There you go.
Yeah, he's done some fucked up things, okay? Some fucked up things.
Do you have pants on?
Do underwear count?
Okay. Technically, you're not bearing at all. That's
Chase
what I
just,
was-
Chase just wanted the full picture.
No, I was just curious. I'm sure the audience was curious. I'm just questioning.
Every time I
How
had
far his costume goes?
every time I had like a Zoom class, I was picturing in my head, I was like, I wonder how many of these people are actually wearing pants. Or like how many of them are just like bearing it all.
All right, head count. Who's wearing pants?
I'm good. I
I'm
got
wearing
shorts.
So.
I mean, that counts.
Oh. Okay, I'm wearing pants.
It's too hot. It's too hot to
It
wear pants.
is. Chase says
Okay.
it feels great in here. It's always hot in this room.
Because they got those two guys in there.
You're in Gotham?
Well, it's hard to tell from this picture, but no, I'm not in Gotham.
What is the hint this week for your background?
I don't really have a good hint for that.
I forgot you give hints. Forgot.
Well, I did last week. I
You
don't
did
think I
kind of
did any
last
other.
week. Yeah.
I just realized you two have the same last name on your Zoom IDs.
That's because they thought.
Oh, what you're talking about?
That's because they thought the Zoom names were going to come across on the recording, and so they don't though. So we're all good. We're all good.
Let's say this is a superhero show. There you go.
Superhero show.
Bigger hint than last week.
Oh, I got a
Shield.
superhero in here.
Not yet. You don't have
Clearly,
a
it's
superhero
Riverdale.
yet. Okay, we've been rambling. Okay, so last week, Ethan, we talked about Knives Out.
Oh.
Talked about Knives Out.
That's right.
I did hear some rumors that you liked the movie.
I did like the movie, but I'm a bear. What do I know?
Where's the popcorn? I need the popcorn.
So
Yeah.
So we thought it would be good because I have the polar opposite view of the movie of you, which always makes for good entertainment.
You made a bear joke.
Yeah.
It's funny. All right.
That was totally intentional. Okay. So what were your, and I mean, try to keep it under like 10 minutes. 10 we gotta. We might get over.
I can summarize my views on the movie really quickly.
Okay.
I thought the acting was phenomenal. I thought the directing was great. The shots in the film were like really poignant, and I really enjoyed Rian Johnson's direction with that. So I thought the writing itself was atrocious. the writing, all
like
the characters,
dialogue? Just like overall, like.
I think the overall structure, because the dialogue at the moment's not problematic, but the issue is once you start thinking about it, it really tears the movie apart. If that makes sense.
So I was gonna rewatch it before this, but I didn't have time. So I'm gonna be a little bit colder than you probably on this, but.
All right, fair. The last time I watched it was a couple weeks ago, so it's not exactly fresh in my mind, but it was I enjoyed it a lot its first time through because it's very entertaining. Just turn your brain off. But the problem is when I watched my second time through, and that's when I turned my writer muse on and everything else on, and that's when it started to kind of come apart at the seams for me. And, it's kind of ironically, it reminds me of Rian Johnson's Last Jedi, which is I enjoyed it in its first viewing. Second viewing got worse, and the writing doesn't hold up to that much scrutiny for me.
Yeah. No, I mean I think we're. Oh, Chase has a thing.
No, I'm interacting with the audience. You please continue.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll wave at the audience too.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll see the floor to you, Connor. That's pretty much my opening statement on that.
I thought, like when I was watching, because when I figured out it was like a whodunit, I was kind of going in because I think like it's so overdone at this point that we know all like the cliches of like what's gonna happen and everything. Especially like if you watch something like Murdered by Death, which Tristan showed me, which just shows all the stereotypes and all that stuff. And so going in, I was like, oh, it's gonna be like super obvious what's gonna happen. And I mean, they kind of played with that where I think we're gonna have to say spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler starting here, everyone.
But like when they show Marta, I think that was her name, right? Was it Marta?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Marta.
I was thinking of Arrested Development for a second. Basically killing him. I was a little disappointed because I was like hoping for this big, length. I was hoping for the rat race.
You're hoping for the just what's gonna happen next.
Exactly. They're gonna figure out, piece by piece, and people are gonna get cut out, or whatever, and all that stuff. So when that happened, I was.
Oh no.
Okay, this is first.
Tristan, buddy.
Did you guys bore him to death?
I guess.
Yeah, maybe it's certainly a possibility.
Oh.
He's coming back.
Okay.
The suspense.
He switched sides.
Okay.
All right.
Then I'm gonna have to edit that out in the middle, but maybe I don't know. We'll see if it works. Anyways, so once that happened, it became a very different kind of movie because then you're rooting for her to not get discovered, while at the same time, and you know that it's gonna happen because Daniel Craig just plays Benoit Blanc amazing. And then that whole, I mean, I will say, like, when I rewatched it, because I watched it and then I think like a day or two later I rewatched it, I will say the twist does not work as well a second time. It really only works once. You know, it kind of destroys all the enjoyment pretty much the second time. But it's so good that first time. I was just like amazed that they were able to actually, on one hand, pull it off, and then on the other hand, have it make sense. Because it's very easy to go down the rabbit hole of it doesn't make any sense, and it, you know, but it still works, but it doesn't make any sense upon the second viewing. So I thought that was really important.
Fair enough. Yeah. As I told Tristan, usually for my whodunits, there actually has to be a murder. Spoilers.
Mm.
And there is one later on, but like, I knew the killer is pretty much kept out of the movie for the first half of it, and I
That's
felt
true.
that was a big problem. Because in a whodunit, I want my cast up front, so I can bounce around between each one, you know, for thing in.
That was definitely something I realized. Yeah, on the second, I was like, oh yeah, the guy who does it in the end, he isn't in the movie.
Yeah, pretty
Like,
much.
That,
I'm like, well,
that
no
was
wonder
Maddie's
he was.
favorite part.
Yeah, no wonder he wasn't a suspect to his people,
but
because he wasn't in the film.
I think though, I mean, not to cut you, but I think
No, go right ahead.
that fault is kind of why the ending, it, you know, it has to have that fault for the ending to kind of work. You know, in like a story structure sense. I mean, it kills that in that moment.
Yeah.
But if you kind of had that, it would be, I think you'd have to jump through way more hoops than necessary to get to that same point. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
All right. Let's see. Uh, my the one the writing that I thought was the most atrocious was uh Detective Blanc's donut hole joke that he kept going with.
that
It's a
was,
stupid analogy.
It's such a stupid
I-
analogy, and I'm like, it's clearly Ryan Johnson trying to be funny, and I'm like, oh God, please move on.
I was like, they're making this amazing, like, intelligent guy sound like a moron. Like, I was like, what's the point? It's not. I mean, like,
Yeah,
it's not even that like funny. You know, it's like it's funny for like the first time, but then he keeps going on and on and on. I was just like,
yeah. The first time got a chuckle out of me, but then when he kept like going down the mall, I'm okay. You really need to stop now. Yeah, on Detective Blanc, I he's they it's natural in a whodunit to make your police a little stupider to to kind of make the detective look better.
mm,
The problem I had with another problem I had with Knives Out was Detective Blanc didn't really come across as, at least to me, he didn't come across as super intelligent, even with
I agree.
the twist at the end, because he was just suggesting normal police things,
mm,
if that makes sense. Like, can we, get. It's very incompetent for the police not to have noticed those footprints, for example,
yeah,
on the path, on the muddy path there, and they're like they're talking about how they want to set up a,
yeah,
you know what is it called, forensics or whatever
yeah,
there.
forensic. Yeah.
And it's like how that to me was making the police, like lowering the police to an even further incompetent level, so Detective Blanc can come across as more intelligent by suggesting normal shit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Mm.
And I
So
hated his accent.
I
Yeah.
thought it was over the top, but it came across as funny to me.
I listen. I think the funniest fucking thing ever is to have a very proper British speaking person do the dumbest sounding accent that we have in America, which is a Southern
It's
accent.
it's
That
true.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is awesome. I love this. This is great.
And that plays into the fact I loved all the actors in this movie. All the performances were
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
I
You can tell they had a lot of fun with the film. And
I will. I think my only thing, like when I was first watching it, my only gripe that I will give it is I felt like the family was so kind of nebulous. Like they really, and I mean maybe, and I think that was kind of partially the point, is that they really don't have a like any kind of thing going on really with the murder. So obviously they're gonna be secondary to it.
yeah,
But I just felt like there was some really interesting dynamics that just got left out that would have kind of made it better.
I agree with that. I wanted more from the family because the what little we have of the family in the night of the party at the start of the film,
Hmm.
it really shows their family dynamic, and I was hoping for a little more of that throughout the film, like um, just when the detective is bringing them in one by one. I like what Ryan. It's flashy the way he cuts between like from one family member to the next,
Yeah.
but I feel there should have been a scene where there are family members waiting outside talking to each other while they're going in one by
Mm.
one. Like that would have been really nice because that would add, I think, a few layers to the film.
Also, another thing I'll give to Ryan Johnson, which I thought this was really cool. I don't think it doesn't really boost the film in any kind of way, but I thought it was like a really cool thing, was when like the three children, or in the step or in the daughter-in-law, two children and the daughter-in-law, are talking about his like birthday night, and they're putting on the cake. They're all putting themselves in as like the closest family members. You know what I'm talking? You know what scene I'm talking about?
I know
No.
what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Uh,
where
I don't remember.
Like they're
he's like,
talking about the I guess I'll say grandpa, like the
yeah,
grandpa's birthday, and they're like, oh, it was a great birthday. But if like the aunt's saying it, she's the one next to him when he's blowing out the candles.
yeah, like they're the like if it was
oh, you're right. They did a
yeah,
juxtaposition with that, didn't they?
yeah,
Oh
they were,
wow! Like I said, I really love Ryan's directing in for the
yeah,
film because like that right there, that was
Whoever's
cool.
point of view of the story was
they
showed that they were the closest to them.
yeah. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
that's I saw the first. I was like, that's a really good touch. That like shows you what like the psychology of this family is like. Like
yeah, that's really cool. I didn't notice that, and
ah,
yeah,
there you
um, it's true. Yeah, uh, like I said, I'm more of a I leave the film. I leave the breaking down of the film to you guys. I'm more of the writer.
That's fair.
But that's
Yeah.
that's a really cool. That's yeah. No, now that I'm thinking about it, that's a really cool set of shots. Yeah. Oh, I didn't
Also,
notice that.
I
Wow.
I had to go back and like look into it. I thought the baseball thing was interesting with the
Uh,
baseball.
yes. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
where they like on one hand they use it to go in between scenes, like the son-in-law throws it out the window, and then it leads you outside to where they're talking about the case and everything, and then it starts from there, and then it ends up coming back around so that she finds the infidelity note. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in between there that I'm leaving out just because simplified. But
Hmm.
I
Watch the
thought,
film, guys.
yeah, and watch the film. It's a great film. It's worth at least one watch, depending
Yeah,
on.
I agree. It's definitely worth a watch. I would say don't rewatch it if you want to be critical of it.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, it's definitely worth at least a watch.
yeah.
Um,
It's a
uh,
it's a great it's a great whodunit.
um, it felt more like a thriller to me than a whodunit,
I
unfortunately.
think. Well, yeah. I think they were like going in. They were like, this is such a played out genre. We have to do it a little bit differently. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
got to kind of give the audience something else. So that was a.
Um, let's see what else is there. I gave one of my complaints about Detective Blanc.
I like the
I
name. Phoebe.
yeah, it's funny to me. Yeah. I can't remember. Is Blanc the French word for white?
I think
LeBlanc.
I think
Blanc?
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Blanc is. Someone who speaks French will let us know.
Someone in the comments, I'm sure.
Someone.
That for me was like a little funny touch because it was just a funny touch.
You got to be funny. I mean, the whole character is just.
Oh, like
Yeah.
it's super over. Like everything's overacted and overplayed, and I think that really helped the film in a
Even
way.
the great grandma. Over
Yeah.
the top.
Best
Um,
character.
Who was a little bit of trivia.
I could
The
relate to that
actress
character.
who played his mom is actually younger than the actor who plays him. That's
That's funny.
that is funny.
Um, yeah, just I'm. It's like a cavalcade, so I'm trying to figure out where to
No,
start.
I know
What I
gotcha.
dislike of the film because we hopped around a lot. So I mentioned Detective Blanc, the donut hole issue.
Make that a video.
There's definitely a thriller aspect to Marta's like you're rooting for her because you know that she's not the killer, but she's in the best position to be implicated.
Mm-hmm.
And but for me, like there are core aspects that like following along her. So I'll do the videotape scene, for example.
Yeah.
The whole recording scene, like you have the police and the supposed great detective have the person who operates all this right there, and they have Marta operate it for some reason. It's just like uh for me, like the movie's filled with a lot of those tiny little
Yeah.
conveniences that keep the plot going. But the problem is like if one of those tiny conveniences just happen to be normal, it ruins the rest of the movie or the rest of the story to follow afterwards.
Yeah. No, like I'll tell it. The first time I was watching it, I was like, okay, this is impossible. Like, there's no way. Like from the okay, like I'll back it up a little bit, not to get you off track, because I
No,
mean,
go ahead.
but like the second like you see
Go.
her, like when she comes back home or whatever, and she has the blood stain on her shoe, the little tiny like droplet of blood,
Yeah.
like you're just thinking in your head, someone had to have seen that. Like that was just like I just like, when are they gonna bring that up? And then it gets brought up like all the way at the end,
Yeah.
which I mean, in some way, kind of makes it seem like Benoit Blanc knew and was just kind of like making it appear like he didn't know, but it could also feed into the whole thing of just making him look stupid and making
Yeah.
like those small details, like you said, just kind of become.
Like he says he knows from the beginning because of that blood stain, and for me that should change the context of everything that comes before. But then it just makes it, for me, that made him look stupid because there are a lot of like the whole videotape scene. If you were suspicious of her, you would never let her operate it. You want her near you, but you don't want her touching anything, pretty much.
Well, yeah, especially because on that tape would be, I believe, like Ransom would be on that tape because he would have no idea.
Yeah.
So the real killer would be on the tape. Oh wow. We
And
are okay. All right. I don't know. Should we keep running with Knives Out, or
Is this the Knives Out podcast?
This is the Knives Out podcast.
it's turned into one.
What about her vomit lies?
That one.
Convenience.
That was definitely a plot contrivance. I allowed it.
I
don't like it,
I did
but I
not like
allowed
it.
it. Yeah, I
Did
don't
not
like
like
it either.
I'm with Connor.
Yeah, it's very jarring in that like, cause
It sucks you out.
it pulls you out, and also again, great detective. How is he not noticing this constantly? um, Yeah, no, bad. I didn't enjoy that very much.
Yeah, I was like, God, if that wasn't such a big thing, I think it would be a better movie.
Yeah, I did like the twist at the end where she throws up on Chris Evans.
See, I feel like
That's probably the only reason they put it in the movie.
see,
Exactly, that's
I
the
was
only
like,
Was
reason it's
that
in the
end?
film.
I was like, that is the only time it like works, but it
Yeah.
lowers it so much that it's like, was it worth it for that one bit? You know what I mean? That's like the only thing I can.
No.
I know it's very forced dialogue between the father and Marta.
Mm.
But I really love the thoughtful echo with the whole line like that Ransom couldn't tell a real knife from a prop knife or something like that. I really enjoyed that little thoughtful echo that played out later on. The dialogue was forced, but I still enjoyed it. So it's another little thing I enjoyed about it.
Also, a little bit of trivia. Like when they're going through the house, like first off after the murder has happened, you see
Yeah.
his portrait and he's got like a frown on his face.
Yeah, that's
After
true.
they solve the murder, he has a smile on the portrait. Yeah,
Some
That,
classic
yeah,
movie stuff.
yeah.
that's some good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't notice that again. Not really.
I mean, if I looked in like a 15 things you didn't notice about. Uh, that was one of the things that you didn't notice
Yeah,
about Knives
I
Out. So I was like,
it's definitely like to look for those things. I have to go into mentally knowing that they're there. Like
yeah,
whenever I
exactly.
watch an Edgar Wright film, I
Yeah,
have to actually pay attention to literally everything on screen.
I
That's
agree.
how Edgar Wright directs his movies.
that's why Hot Fuzz works.
Yeah, and then it works with and this is Ryan Johnson, so it's like it's I'm happy he's doing that. He's starting to do that because that's another level of investment for me. Um, you know,
Well,
uh,
I think what I really like, because I when I first saw Last Jedi, I did not like it. I did not like it on my first viewing. I did not like it on my second viewing. I was not like into it.
I love Star Wars enough because I was in denial after my first
See,
viewing.
I think I'm not a giant Star Wars fan. So I already know going in, it's not really made for me. So
Yeah,
I will totally concede that I'm biased in that point. Uh, but what I liked, this is like I felt like a redemption movie for him because he got a lot of backlash for Star Wars.
and
Deservedly so. I mean,
just
deservedly so. It was not great, and I felt
yeah,
like even if this didn't like totally make up for it, I thought it was a step in the right direction of actually kind of making something that was more to his, to like an adequate standard.
yeah. I can agree with that. I think it was definitely a better film. I was more entertained by Knives Out, and a lot of it is that it didn't feel like it destroyed 30 years of history,
See that
which is
that does
helpful.
help. Yeah.
So I agree. It's definitely a better movie. I'm still not impressed with the writing aspect, but he continues to shine as far as directing is concerned.
Oh yeah, he's definitely
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that is like the best part of that movie is all like the scenery, the aesthetic overall,
yeah
shot layout. It's perfect, almost perfect.
yeah. To steal from one of my favorite YouTube critics, I would hire Ryan Johnson in a heartbeat to direct a film, but I would get a legal contract barring him from commenting on the script whatsoever.
Yeah, it's I don't not to get off on another tangent or something, but I don't really like this whole auteur theory, thing where they say the director is like the entire creation of the overall, movie, like it's their entire vision. It's not.
Okay, yeah.
It's
No,
I mean,
we were all in film. We know it's a
yeah,
collaborative effort.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's,
Even though it doesn't always turn out that way.
mm,
It doesn't have to always turn out the bit. It's always a collaborative effort at one point or another. Because even if it's just left with one of us in the editing room,
yeah,
that's we were all there helping it out at
a
some point or
piece
another.
a piece of everyone's vision is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what I like to think. So I think he's like he's a great director. He probably needs to get a scriptwriter.
Yeah.
Just or at least a co-script writer or something.
He definitely needs someone there to tell him like this needs to be changed. Like someone who can really go through his scripts and like edit out the BS pretty much, you know.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think kind of with the whole genre of Knives Out that he was playing with, it is very easy to go over, like over embellish and over exaggerate things just because that's kind of where it's coming from. But I mean, at the same time, it doesn't help. You gotta have a tone down. You gotta set a bar.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But yeah, I wouldn't go as far as say it's Ryan Johnson's redemption, other than it is better.
It's a first step.
Yeah, it's a stepping stone. I'm sorry. Are we going on too long?
No, I caught a glimpse of Tristan and he looked dead.
He's got the glasses on, so you can't tell he's gone like cross-eyed.
You can't see that I'm asleep.
Yeah. Do you guys want to summarize your views on Knives Out now that Connor and I guess we've aired our grievances a little bit.
I think, like the movie says, we should all be like a steak butcher, chef, fillet, all those types of knives, and head on out.
There you go.
All right.
I can't say anything better than that.
I will.
My points were made while you guys were talking. So
I will reiterate what Tristan said last week when I brought up how much I liked Knives Out. Meh.
Fair enough.
There you
go.
Yeah, there you.
Yeah, and
one-time watch.
It's a one-time watch.
I'll say thank you because like I said, I don't notice all those film things, so thank you for pointing them out because that actually does raises it a little bit more for me, and I want to like someone's artwork.
Oh yeah.
You can't make me. That's the problem.
See, what was it like? It was like I think Paul Thomas Anderson was watching a movie with John Krasinski, and I think John Krasinski was talking about the movie afterwards, and he's like, "Man, that was a terrible movie. That was like awful." And then Paul Thomas Anderson took him aside and was like, "Don't say that, because if you say that and everyone else says it, you won't be able to make those kinds of movies anymore."
True. I was gonna ask, are we just gonna reconvene once the timer's out?
Yeah, we do a wrap up afterwards. This is meta for the audience. We do a wrap up afterwards, just like a wrap up party.
They don't inform their guests.
Well, okay. Join us next week where we talk about The Last Jedi for the entire podcast.
Am I going to be here for that one too? Because if there's a Last Jedi podcast, I want to be a part of it.
We're
gonna I have more to complain about that one.
We're just going to get Ryan Johnson in and just beat the shit out of him verbally, just like really give it to him next week. All right.
Chase just die.
Yeah. This has been 6 Feet of Frustration. I'm your host, Connor, my compatriots and special guest, Ethan, Chase, and Tristan. We will see you next week, everybody.
Yeah. Happy to be back.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's see.